Make it your business.
In tonight's Capital Focus, can soccer save the world? Well, our next guest thinks soccer can explain a lot of what's going on around the globe today. He's Franklin Foer of the New Republic, author of the new book, How Soccer Explains the World, an Unlikely Theory of Globalization. We're also joined by former Major League Soccer star Alexi Lalas, now the general manager of the San Jose Earthquakes. Thank you both for being with me. Franklin Foer, well, let me tell you both, I just spent a week immersed in soccer. I was traveling with my 11-year-old daughter in Ireland. Her soccer team was playing over there. We'd have matches in the afternoon, and then we'd go to the pub and watch the European Cup. But I had no idea, Franklin Foer, that I was involved in a metaphor for globalization.
You are indeed caught up in a metaphor. First, let me just say it's a great honor to be on the show with Alexi, who's one of the original icons of American soccer. But the point of the book is that there is no more globalized phenomenon in the world than soccer. And in fact, it's a lot more globalized than almost any other institution or economy on the planet. So my idea is that the game makes the perfect laboratory for studying how globalization is going to shape up. And so each chapter in my book tells a story that's set in a different country that I traveled to, and each of these stories has a different lesson about what globalization is going to look like.
Alexi, you buy this theory?
I've never been caught in a metaphor, so I don't know.
It's a new experience for you.
It's amazing, but you know what Franklin's talking about is right. I mean, I've been involved with this sport on and off the field for a long time, and I've played internationally, and I've lived internationally and played. It's a wonderful, wonderful sport, and from an economic and financial and all these and political standpoint, soccer is huge. And maybe in the United States we don't understand what soccer means to countries around the world. You know, I played in Italy, and the fact is that there's two things that happen on Sunday in Italy: soccer and church. And it is a religion, but it goes well beyond religion, and I'm sure Franklin's delved deep into the meaning of soccer politically and
Franklin, in Ireland, it was soccer and the pub. But one of the things that I noticed watching these European Cup finals was the intense nationality of the people who go to these games. I mean, nationalism, you know.
Right.
And I mean, some people might think that's not necessarily a good thing. It's nationalism that got us into 2 world wars in the last century.
Right. Well, of course, nationalism can sometimes be a very bad thing. And I certainly encountered a lot of the bad parts of it through my travels. I was in Yugoslavia, in Serbia, where I went and I met fans whose fan club got turned into a paramilitary unit that went on genocidal rampages in the Bosnian Wars. And I was in Glasgow, where you have 2 teams. One's Catholic and one is Protestant. And each time that they play, they're essentially fighting over the Protestant Reformation, and there are all sorts of violence that's associated with the game. And so I guess the point of my book is really what soccer shows us about nationalism is that you know, one of the promises of globalization was that it was going to make all the bad parts of nationalism and tribalism go away, that we would be united in this web of commerce and common cultural influences. But the truth is that globalization really hasn't brought an end to those bad parts of tribalism and nationalism. And in fact, I think there's a lot of evidence that those things have gotten worse.
Alexi, did you ever find yourself caught up in anything like that, in kind of the intense national fights that sometimes break out at soccer matches?
That's a lot of isms over there, but listen, you know, I've played for my country, and I've played in different countries, and especially just in the past 10 years, the United States has gone from a country that was the underdogs constantly to a country right now that, you know, when we go down to, let's say, a place like Guatemala or in El Salvador, before, it was always the fact that, okay, here comes the United States, here's our opportunity to be the best at something, especially against the United States. The fact is that that's no longer in existence, and when we're qualifying for World Cups and we're playing in World Cups, we represent the United States, everybody else represents their countries, and we go at it, and may the best country win.
Quick final question, Franklin Foer. Here in the United States, is soccer a red state sport or a blue state sport?
I argue that, well, First of all, soccer is more widespread in this country than I think it gets credit for. But I do think that the aficionados of the game tend to concentrate more on the coast. And I mean, there's certainly the game as it's played in the youth ranks is beyond that. But you have a real hardcore following of it in blue state America.
All right, Franklin Foer, author of the book, How Soccer Explains the World.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Alexi Lalas, General Manager of the San Jose Earthquakes. It's an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And when we come back, Fahrenheit 9/11 divides the